Hi, Scott. Thank you for that intro. Hey, Jamie, how are you doing, buddy?
Andy, doing well, doing well. What's going on, Scott? Here we are on another Thursday.
Yes, another Thursday and an impressive day in the market. Impressive day with Holly all around. We'll get into that here in a minute, but first, I do want to thank everybody for joining us today. Um, as always, we have some good content to provide for you, and I think you're going to like what I have to show you. I'll get into it in just a minute, but I think you're in for a little treat this afternoon. So before we do anything, let's get on with the disclaimer here, guys. Once again, what Jamie and I are doing here is for educational purposes only. All right, we are going to be talking about some stocks and maybe looking at some setups and things like that, but nothing that we say or that you see should be construed as investment advice. If that's what you're looking for, you need to go see a broker or a RIA or somebody that can work in that capacity. All right. Before we move on, bear with me, you regulars in here, but I want to show the ones that are in here for the first time what you get when you get trade ideas. You get much more than just a very powerful software. You get the backing of five-star support, education, and training. And I mean five-star, guys. We're here for you. There's webinars throughout the week. There's TI University throughout the week. Let's just start what's on the page here. We've got the Traders Room with Barry. Most of you guys are probably in there already. If you're not, it's free for everyone. Make sure that you get in there. You basically just get to look over his shoulder and watch our software and listen to him navigate the market using our software. Great place to hang out. Over 500 traders in there and some really good ones. Throughout the week, Monday through Thursday, we have a webinar all in the same time slot, 5 Eastern time. Okay, you can see the names up there. It's in most cases a combination of myself, Jamie, and Steve. But we do on Wednesday, we throw you a curveball with Dan Merkin and Brad Williams, and that's a great place to hang out when you want to see new bells and whistles coming down the pike. So be sure you check out that Wednesday webinar as well. Friday support session. We've been doing this for a while now. It's great, getting a great response from that. It's just an open Q&A, and once again, that's open to everyone. So if you want to come in and see more about our product, just visit that Friday support session. It's 11 a.m. Eastern, scheduled for 3 hours. The summertime has been kind of slow, so it may only be 2.5, just depending on, as long as the questions keep flying at us, we'll stay there so long as they keep coming. And let's not forget about TI University. Like I said, we have a lot of tools here that helps with the education and support. 4 days a week, Monday through Thursday, we have TI University. We start out with the basics and beginner 101 and march up the scale to it. Finally, we do advanced, which Jamie did today. It's 401. These are all in the 12 Eastern time slot, and when you subscribe, you get to sign up to this, and it's 6 hours worth of content. And not only that, we have a 30-minute Q&A at the end of each one. So I'm telling you, at the end of that 4 days, you are going to know a lot about this product, and you're going to be taking off and making your own pass, doing. That's just it. Our product's so powerful. There's so many things you can do with it. And what I do, you may not be interested. You maybe just want to create different alerts and filters. But anyway, we will show you how to do that in TI University. All right, Brokerage Plus, for those guys and gals who are interested in auto trading, we do have a product, a little module called Brokerage Plus that you connect to Interactive Brokers. That's the only broker we're working with right now. Anyway, it's a way for you to build your strategies and automate your trading through Interactive Brokers. If you want more information about this, just go to trade-ideas.com/beta. The agenda for today, market recap, we always do. Holly recap, I usually put something out there beside Holly, but there was so much good stuff with Holly today, I just could not fit it all in, so I just figured we'd wait till Jamie and I start talking about it and just show you, because very impressive day with Holly. Now, it was an impressive day in the market with a gap down in the run that we had, but Holly did not let us down, and we will talk about that. And then I showed this thing that we have been working on about, probably 6 weeks ago, called this composite rating. Well, this is real close to being done. I did some more work with a couple of Michael Noss and some of our other developers today, and I'm going to kind of revisit that because it's like I said, it's almost done, and I'm excited about it, and I think you will be too. Uh, we're still probably about 3 weeks out of production, for getting it in your hands. It will be a filter, which will be really cool for you to use. And I just want to make sure everybody knows it is proprietary. Okay, this is not a custom formula that you're going to have access to. Okay, this is something, it's going to be proprietary. There's a lot of good stuff in it. That's all I can really tell you about it. But anyway, I'll get that when it comes time here. But let me back out of this right now and pull up the spiders. Let me move that over there. And we'll go over into our market recap here. We always like using the spiders because it comprises of about 500 stocks, and it's very evenly weighted, unlike some of the others. And so let's talk about it. Boy, today, I mean, the last few days, once again, I was starting to question whether this market is going to have enough strength to, finally take out this high that it set back in January. Today was a very impressive day. Now, I will say this, I think obviously Apple, heavily weighted in all the indices, had a lot to do with the move today. All you got to do is look at that, almost up 3%. Let me get some water real quick. But obviously, Apple can't move the total S&P, SPY index. So obviously, some other things have to be moving up today. And you can see there on the sector analysis, oil was doing good. Agriculture was actually having a good day. Retailer bouncing back, semi. So there was some overall, decent moves throughout the market. But I'm still, the jury's still out for me, only because we have been kind of hung up in this area a long time. I thought once we got through this very important line right here, which was resistance and pretty strong resistance, I thought once we got through there, backed up, and then on this gap, I thought it was only a few days before we'd hit this, much like the Qs did. I'm not going to pull them up right now, back in about 3 months ago. But we didn't. We fell off pretty quick here, and now we've had a nice rebound. But guys, I mean, like I said, I don't get too excited because we've been in this range now on the spiders for what, 6-7 months, and we're still kind of in it. Even though we're in the upper band, there's a good chance we will go take out this high. But we'll see if tomorrow comes out and we just pull right back down, and especially if we cannot hold this very important support line. Remember, it was resistance. Now, of course, it's support. And if we drop back in this area, yeah, it could be a really mundane August. But we'll see what happens. Of course, the Qs were leading the way today with Apple, a little bit stronger there, not far away. And I think IWM, last I looked, was getting a bounce. But we'll see what happens, guys. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on it because we've kind of been stuck in this kind of funky range. It seems like every time you get excited, it just pulls right back. So we'll have to see what happens. I see some questions coming in. Jamie, is there anything I got to address over there? Let's see. Yes, David. Yeah, Apple, first $1 trillion company. How about that?
Right. That's
market
the big,
cap.
Everybody's so excited about that.
Yeah.
JC Parrots was commenting. He's like, "Why is this such a big deal?"
Yeah.
Because is it going to affect me or anybody? Because it just doesn't matter.
No. It's just an awful big number. But you're right. I mean, is it going to make me a more profitable trader? That's. Well, I guess if you've been holding it for a while, it will. That's for sure.
And great for everybody that made money trading Apple today.
Sure.
But I mean, looking at that 15-minute SPY chart today, you're just like, wow. I mean,
I know.
I think it kind of caught everybody by a little. I think everybody was a little surprised at the upward motion today.
Yeah.
Tenacity.
Yeah. I mean, just not very many red candles in that 15-minute chart, is there?
Oh, look, there's even
Yeah,
a red bar. There's a red bar ignore in there.
yeah,
You
yep,
know, about
sure
out
was.
into the open.
And right there too. Uh, but other than that, Jamie, you got anything else to add for the overall market cap, or should we just kind of dive right into
Well, I
Holly?
mean, hey, you know what? It's just acting like a market, or acting like a stock, or acting like this pattern would act no matter what is exhibiting it, right?
Yep.
That's really what it's all about, and that's kind of what Mr. Parrots was saying. He's like, all I care about the charts. Market
That's right.
cap, fundamentals, and to them it's tea leaves and vice versa. But anyhow, yeah, are you ready
All
to
right. Well,
discuss?
I'll help you out here just a little bit. I mean, just
Yeah.
just to say, kind of what I have to say about Holly. I mean, very impressive. You can see the numbers right here. I'm more than likely, I haven't looked at the other ones, is more than likely these are all risk on. One of the reason Holly 2.0 formed so well today was she had a lot of longs, a lot of, and Jamie's will be better about breaking down the number of trades and all that. But you can see the early going, the shorts didn't work out all that great. And but after that, Holly 2.0 said, okay, looks like we're going higher. And this was like 45 minutes into the day. You can see the timeline there, and then you had an array of longs go off. This could be considered basically directional bias when you see all these longs being fired off within a short time frame. And they worked. They worked. As all you have to do is look at the risk on profit, 6.44. What that's saying, guys, if you bought one share of every one of these alerts that came through Holly today at the entry, and you held these all the way until the close and got out to close, you would be up $6.44. Every time you add a zero to that one share, you can add a zero to your risk on profit. It's basically how that works. If you bought 1,000 shares, you would add three zeros. That'd be a good day, wouldn't it?
That'd be okay. You
Yeah,
know, and really the minimum tier is really dictated by the commissions that are being charged.
true.
And
Absolutely. Well, all right, Jamie. If you want to just go over here and break down, I don't know how you're going to choose the best trades out of there, but I'm sure you probably looked at a few of them.
no, I mean, well, hey,
Yeah.
it's a good problem to have, Andy.
Yes.
Dan and I recorded the podcast early today because we're going to be out of the office tomorrow. But we were talking about this, and even us, meaning me, you, Dan, Brad, Steve, Sean, Dan, we've been doing this forever, and we live now in this statistical world that is Holly. By the way, you can see my screen, yes?
I can.
Okay. So, once again, even we lose sight sometimes as to the statistical ballet that's being performed each and every day. And what? As always, I mean, look at this gorgeous. I'm on Holly 2.0, the big winner today.
Hmm.
But look at that equity curve right there, or the P&L
Yes.
curve, I should say. I mean, it's that classic formation, little squirming, little down draw, and then boom, when that plane gets broken, if you would have stepped on the gas, boom. I mean, and this happens all the time, ladies and gentlemen. That's why we talk about this all the time, because once you get into the flow and once you get used to it, that's when you start, being able to just react accordingly, because you've seen this over and over again. And we also talked about the fact today that there were some comments being made about, Holly, this one that was up 7 points, but man, 36 trades, and I'm like, what's that on a per share basis? And at that point in time, it was 20 cents, right?
Mm-hmm.
But since hey, it's all about the statistics, right? So we can't lose fact or sight of the fact that if you take all the trades today, which there were 70, right, and you tally up the total gross there and you divide by 70, we end up the day at, we're going to round down, not up, so it's 15, but it's actually 0.154. So 15 cents per share traded. Now, let me help you put that into perspective a little bit, because it's kind of important from a statistical standpoint. And that is, if you really want to trade, there are many places, and Andy can vouch for this, where you get a 0.003, commission. So in and out, you're still under a penny. So if you're making a penny a share, you're scratching out a living. You make 2 pennies a share, well, and anything above that is just, additional gravy to a very good income. So the AI today, 0.15, 15 cents per share. You can even build big slippage into that and still do okay, right? And of course, always the smaller your commission, the more of your money you get to keep. So, I just kind of wanted to put that out there because it's not something that we talk about a lot, but it has a lot of relativity when you're interacting with a system of this nature, and especially when you're new at it, because it doesn't come overnight. There's a lot going on here. And by the way, one of the most requested features is the ability to view all the hollies at the same time so that we don't miss trades, and that is coming, ladies and gentlemen, so be patient and we'll get it out as soon as possible. I myself am chomping at the bit for that option too. So anyway, enough of the philosophy. Let's take a look at some of the gorgeous trades that Holly 2.0 was in today and talk about, was there any risk on, risk off potential today? And so what I've done is I've taken the blotter here. Here we're looking at the best winners, risk on. Of course, let's be fair. Let's flip it around and go, okay, well, these are the losers. Well, on a day where we put on 36 trades, that's exactly the way you want it to. We got some red, but it's nothing compared to the green, right? So in these first 2 trades, a tiny bit of risk on spread between risk off and risk on. $1.45, let's see, 40, let's see, not quite 45 cents, 43 cents, I think. So nothing to write home about, nothing here as well. Now, we have a big gap on this IMPV. And let me move my, can you see my chart up here, Andy?
I can.
Okay, I was just making sure my go-to window was not obstructing the view. So we've got a pretty decent spread here on IMPV because she flatted the trade, and we look over here at the exit reason and it says profit save. Well, if there was a profit, it's supposed to be above 0, but anyway, by the time she got out, it was flat. She was attempting to close the trade early, and when we look at the entry here, and I'll just expand these 15-minute candles out here and take a minute to wet my whistle there. So a great little pattern. I really like the pattern just from a human visual perspective because it's that nice little flirty with anticipatory breakout potential. Of course, that's not why Holly's bringing it to us. She's bringing it to us because it's got statistical viability, which is always a good thing when the chart jives with high statistical probability. And when I say it jives, I mean it's the chart that we like to find, which this is mine. Of course, there are so many chart patterns out there. Everybody's a little bit different, but I like these because of the simplicity involved, right? So you can start stacking those things together. That also will help you get to know Holly a little bit better. But this little shaded area right here is the time that she spent in it, and looking at what it did, it's no surprise that she got out on a profit save, because once she makes an entry, the longer time passes, or the longer time increment passes without the thing doing what it's supposed to, in this case go up, she gets more and more nervous, so to speak, and will pull the plug if it doesn't go the way that it's supposed to early. And of course, once again, as I say over and over again, Holly's strong suit are the statistically weighted entries. A lot of the times we can extract some of this spread between risk off and risk on just using our basic charting skills, right? So if we see Holly getting out right here, we're like, hey, it's pecking new highs, it's going sideways, it's not testing our stop loss. I tell you what, I see you flattening it, Holly, but I'm going to be a little bit more patient. I'm going to stay in it, and that's going risk on. And we can see that that would have worked very nicely at this point in time. So I know there's some questions flooding in here, so let me just see if I can address some of them.
Yeah, maybe
The first one by Kat.
Yeah, that one right there. I think I'm kind of hitting up the other ones. Let's see.
That's a good question, Kat. So when I double-clicked off of Holly's blotter on IMPV like that, it automatically populates all of the trade data here on the chart. The blue box and the blue line correspond, and there's a line in the way there, but now you can see the blue line. So this is the 15-minute candle where the trade was triggered. The blue line corresponds with the entry price and the blue box as well. And then our stop loss is the shaded area down here. And of course we can see the hard stop number in the red box to the right. Up here, we'll typically have a profit target as well. Sometimes it's not visible on the intraday unless you're looking at longer time frames. I just compressed my chart, and now you can see here was the profit target up here. If it would have run up here, it would have pegged out of the trade, having the profit target hit. So these are all the AI metrics laid out for you. And in addition to that, I believe right now it's only Holly 1.0, but we should be tagging the dailies with these other two Hollies as well. Holly 1.0 will also mark the day on the daily as well, so it might bring up a good swing trade from time to time. So Andy, did we get the questions caught up there? Or?
Yeah, I think I got most of them here.
Okay, all right, perfect. All right, so scanning for one more risk on trade. This one kind of pops out as well. Triple IN, and I'll just take the opportunity to unscroll here. Here's the 15-minute candle where the trade was spawned. Of course, it's going to correspond with the blue box over here. Stop loss. And if we squish it up a little bit, we can see the profit target up here as well. Same song, same dance here, right? Entries made. We get sideways action with a little bit of upside. Let's see, I want to say that was a profit save as well, or time. Nope, she stayed in this one for the duration, which it just didn't move a whole lot. So we check out float on. We want to know the time. This one's designed around a 60-minute hold time. So stop loss or profit target did not get hit, and she just did what she was programmed to do, which was bail after that hour. But of course, the pattern is pretty much the same. If I draw a line, we can see just a little consolidation area, bouncing off that 10-period fast line right there. Note that, Andy. And then a nice little progression. So the best way to do it for the new people is to do half and half. Okay, even if it's a flat, I'm going to do half with Holly and do half risk on. Now, if you do that, if you practice that methodology, you still have to adjust your stop loss, right? So you can A, stick with your original hard stop, or revert back to a break even. Now, had we done that here, Holly gets out here, if we would have reverted to a break even, we would have stayed in it, right? And reverting to a break even hard stop on that second lot allows you to lock in and preserve the profit. In this case, it would have been a flat, or 9 cents roughly. Maybe a slippage 5 cents, who knows? But you would have gotten to enjoy the larger gain on the second lot. Sometimes they roll back over, but at least you flat or lose a few pennies and are able to hold on to that that first lot. All right, now this one would probably be a good example of Holly getting into a trade and getting stopped out. And this was also something that we discussed today earlier, is that number one, there's no way to even see all these trades come out at the same time, hopefully. But even when we get the Omni blotter, in other words, where you can see everything, still, I mean, you can only process so much information, you know, but you can be assured that it's all very high quality information. But every once in a while, you're going to have your first trading flurry, whether that lasts the first 30 minutes, an hour, hour and a half. I mean, doesn't it always seem like the first 2 hours of the market go by in like 30 minutes anyway? You're like, wow, it's already lunch. Time flies when you're having fun, right? But anyway, you'll look around. You wouldn't have been in CBS, but all of a sudden you're like, ooh, she just got stopped out of CBS. Okay, I'm going to watch and see if this thing tightens up, because isn't it uncanny how stocks always go down right past the stop loss and then, you know, shake everybody out, trigger a bunch of stops, liquidity, and then they go back up. Well, this tail's kind of comforting, and we see not a lot of shenanigans here, and then we start to, you know, slowly grind up. Well, your stop loss is defined, even well below the original stop, using the stop loss as an entry. That's another way to perceive the information. We used to do it all the time, Andy, Steve, Dan, myself, Brad, but it was actually in a physical office, and it wasn't Holly doing this. It was actually a physical person sitting next to us who was complaining that they just got stopped out, and then we'd pull it up and go, oh, looks good now. Yeah, thanks, man. I just made $500. I'll buy you lunch. But now you have this every day right in front of you, and not just one version, but 3 versions. So I think, unless, Andy, should I take a look at one more AI? Just take a look, see.
Whatever you want to, yeah, whatever you want to do, Jamie.
Let's just do the highlights here, okay? So
okay.
I want to leave you plenty of time, so how about I go another 2 minutes on Holly, and then I'll pass it.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I'll have plenty of time. Yeah.
Yeah, let's just take a little data tour here. Okay, so on this one, up the, obviously the most trades, 6.56, was up over 7 at one point in time. What was the biggest risk on percentage winner? Okay, AKCA 5.65%. Now let's change segments. Let's check out the original. Oh, and I forgot to show max profit column, but we'll do that in these two as well because it should look pretty similar. Biggest risk on winner, GTES. Oh, a nice little trade. Even an opportunity for a second entry. If you're die hard waiting for as much as you can get, 7%, right? The max profit column, right? Notice these are all positive values. What does that mean? That means that's the most the position was up in Holly's time during risk-off mode. Now, they're all positive. She got positive movement on everything. Now, granted, that was only a penny. That was only 6, 8, and 9. But just from a statistical standpoint, that's really hard to do, right? So now, let's take a look at NEO. Don, I saw your question. Not right now. That's not really the way she's set up. But who knows what the future holds. Okay, so what was the biggest winner here? Just a meager 3.47% in Square, but still a nice trade. I mean, this pattern was present a lot in various different little forms today. And if we look at that max profit column, we had a couple that never got in the money. But out of 24 trades, you got positive movement in 22 out of 24 trades, which is still, from a statistical standpoint, amazing, right? So, think about it from that perspective as you're getting used to dealing with Holly, interacting with her, all of that. And just keep in mind, it's not something that comes overnight, or in a week or 2 weeks. It's, after 2 or 3 months in the saddle, you're going to be a lot more comfortable, and it's only going to get better from then. So, Andy, if you're ready, I'll pass it back over to you.
That sounds good to me, Jamie.
And you're good.
All right. Let me do it. Can you see me?
Affirmative.
All right, guys. Getting lots of questions, guys. I'm sorry if we can't get to all of them. I'll try to elaborate on the ones, that I've seen here. Yes, getting to your question about options, Don. Yes, you can't, Holly is not going to trade options, but options to me it's basically just a different way to trade the chart. So in other words, if you are a swing trader and you see a chart, grab this one because it's the first one up here, that where Holly, calls a buy right here. It's a very strong chart, not far from taking out its multi-month high, maybe all-time high, but it's up to, you can look at this chart and you can go out and just buy the common if you want to, or you can always go into your brokerage account and buy buy options. So that's up to you based upon your chart reading ability and just just using your own eyeball. So when it comes to questions about options, it's basically the same chart reading as if you were buying the the common. The question is, are you a short-term trader, or do you want to, trade swing trade or play longer term and trade options? But yes, that's totally up to you. I can see where, a person might want to take a lot of these alerts and trade options with them. There's a lot of good questions today, guys. We'll try to stay up on them. You're welcome, Don. Yes, Kurt. The odds maker does have the back test 64 days, just kind of like the same that you have when you go into an A window and you right click and you want to back test a strategy. The only thing is you will never be able to optimize it and back test it at the rate Holly does. It would take you probably
You don't have enough time.
No, it'll take you 3 months to do what she does in one night, and that's what's so powerful about artificial intelligence. All right, guys, I'm excited to show you this. I teased you probably, like I said, about 3 weeks ago with a concept that you've seen if you belong to some websites out there that have, or service that has a composite rating. In other words, they value the stock based upon technical parameters and also fundamental metrics. Well, we have one that's about to come out now with trade ideas, and I think it's going to blow the competition away. We've been working on this for a while. I got to be careful with how much I tell you because this is going to be proprietary. Obviously, we don't want somebody out there copying our formula, but it has plenty of technical indicators, not as many fundamental. As a matter of fact, the ratio is probably 3 to 1. Okay, but it's got a lot of good stuff in it. And just to give you an example here, I've made a couple of columns on my windows here. The first one is pullback above. I don't need to do that because I put it right there in the middle. Pull back above 50 SMA. So this is something I use for finding stocks that are pulling back in a 5-day time frame and setting up what I call a setup bar on the intraday time frame. A great example right here is KEM. Look at KEM today. Okay, so I'm getting notified on this on my top list here, and it's a stock that was recently hitting, as you can see here, a multi-year high, maybe an all-time high. I'm not sure. Nope. If I look over here in my position in lifetime, yeah, it did. It probably hit one right back there, so it's not far from a lifetime range. Pulled back, and now it's finally putting in a green bar after several days of selling off in red bars. Well, now I've added me a composite rating in here. And you can look down this composite rating column, and you're going to notice that there's different values in here. Some of them aren't going to be as strong. You can see one there, 64. Let's pull up this one. Not bad. You're probably saying, well, that doesn't look that bad. Why is this, so much less than KEM, 16 point less? Well, let's jump back, and you can see it's nowhere near its 52-week high. So even though it might be constructive looking on a, several 6-month high, it doesn't have the, it's not going to have the composite rating that makes it a really, really strong technical chart. And there's some fundamentals in there that it may be missing out on. Now, KEM, 80s, not bad. Now, I'm still working on this. I did notice one glitch today that I did not have time to fix. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but it's some of these are actually about probably 5 points less than what they should be. KEM is one of them, and so this should be a score of 85. But a very strong chart, but you can see it's below its 10-period moving average. It's below its twin. So there's been some decay here. All right, this is why this is not up in the 90 range. There's definitely been some decay here over the last several weeks. But what's great about this is now when you have, you're going to be able to put these in a column. And when you see alerts coming through, you're going to be able to look real quick at the composite rating and see what we kind of give this grade to this stock, based upon primarily technical, but some fundamental data. It's going to be very valuable to it. And not only that, guys, you're going to be able to use this as a filter, okay? And I'm going to show you an example of what I'm talking about. Yes, Good question. Waleed asked, how often does the composite rating change? That's the beautiful thing about ours, because nobody has real-time data like we do, Waleed. Ours is going to change in real time for you on a second. If something pops up and gets above a certain moving average or a certain range, and once again I got to speak vague terms here, yes, it's going to change. Yeah, it's going to be nice, Waleed. It's going to change in real time for you, so it's going to be sweet. Unlike some of those static sites out there where
Right. No static metric.
yeah, no static metrics here, not at Trade Ideas. uh, so let me take a look and show you what I've done here. I said, well, I want to show them something about what I'm referring to here. So I wanted to build a top list, and it's called composite rating greater than 9. So obviously you're going to know what this top list window is doing. For those of you who are new in here, do not have the product, basically as a top list where you can basically drop a filter in. You don't have to have any alert. In other words, nothing's going to be alerting you that an event is happening. It's just a filter. And if you look in this filter right here, the composite rating is 90, above 90. All right, so not anything that comes through, this is my only filter in here. I hit hide unused, you're not going to see any other filters. This is the only one. I probably should have put some some price and average daily volume, but I just wanted to see which stocks are coming through that have a composite rating of 90. And of course, I sorted by composite rating, biggest on top. Very simple alert. So what happens for those of you who do not have Trade Ideas is it's going to show me on my top list at any given time any stock that has a composite rating greater than 90. Okay, let me show you what's cool here. And I can hit this show me button and look at that. It gives them we have a histogram, so you can put a value in here and it's going to show you how many stocks have there's only 114 stocks. So it's this is going to be like a strict composite rating. I mean, you're gonna have to show me some good charts, man, to have a 90 plus rating, which is going to be good. Let's say you wanted to come in here, see how many stocks have a composite rating above 80. Well, there's 644. So you can see what I'm talking about. You're going to see now. No, I won't. I can't even tell you what our base is. Sorry. All right, so let's take a look here, guys. We got 2 stocks, 3 stocks. Of course, Apple. Apple is the darling, right, of course, of all technical and fundamental data right now. It is breaking out all-time highs, just beautiful, great fundamentals. There's just nothing wrong with Apple. Thus, it gets a composite rating of 100. You're not going to see very many, but I will say this. There's a few down here in the 95 range that will have, they're probably going to be, because I said I caught a glitch and I have to fix it. We have to fix it with another custom. But so if I had to guess, I would probably say you might see another 5 or 6 charts in here with 100. So anyway, I mean, if you want to run a top list and just do it by composite rating, every single chart that's in here is going to be very, very, very strong. And that's a beautiful one right there, just breaking out today. Look at that, boop, poking its head up. And of course, you can add some other columns, relative volume, 5-minute volume, so you can see the ones with composite score. This is similar to what Jamie has when he has, give me the name, Turbo Family, something like that, where they have to be in their.
The Turbo Up Family, no resistance.
Right. Exactly, right. No resistance. Thank you. They have to be breaking out all-time highs, although obviously this is just a rating. So, but when it's used in this capacity, you're going to find a lot of the stocks that Jamie has in his Turbo Family, no resistance in here, because they're going to be beautiful charts, but they're also, they have to measure up, to get that 100, they have to measure up on the fundamental data that's being scored as well. So I'm looking in here to see if I have any questions.
I think we're caught up except for this last one from Kurt, the CR updated. What is, I don't know exactly what that is.
Kurt, what do you mean by CR? You're talking about the now obviously the fundamental. We pull our data. Yeah, the composite rate.
Okay. All
Now,
right.
we'll see. Here's the beauty. It's obviously on the technical stuff. It's going to be updating real time.
Right.
Quarterly earnings. Obviously, we're only going to get those quarterly. So yes, when it comes to the fundamental data, that's going to be a little bit slower, obviously, because we have to wait for the data to come out. But any of the technical stuff, it's going to be real time. So I'll show you a prime example. Let's take a look at Facebook. Oh, look at that, 57, composite rating of 57. I mean, just a week ago, this thing would have been 100. And
Yeah.
this would have been 100. It shows how far they can deteriorate if they don't hold up technically, and rightly so. I mean, you look at that chart and it doesn't deserve a better score than 57. Okay, it's broken. It fell below all of its moving averages, including its 200. So there's a lot of damage done there in the last couple of weeks there in Facebook. All right, let me see. Yes, and once again, guys, this is going to take us some time. Okay, this is all I'm using right now is a big custom formula. I think probably the biggest we've ever used. And obviously, to get this in our system for you, it's going to take some time. The developers, it's going to take probably at least 2 or 3 weeks. But I'd be very disappointed if it's not in here by a month. By the start of September. And hopefully, if we get lucky, maybe we can get it in 2 or 3 weeks. But yes, Cass, he's asking about the pullback above 50 SMA. You can find that in our channel 4. So I'm not going to click on there because I don't want to lose the stuff I have on my screen right now, but just go to our channel 4, click on it, and you will find that this is my pullback above 50 SMA Pro. Good question. You can find a lot of other good windows in there as well.
Andy, I guess we have to give Kurt credit for coining what we will be calling this thing. When he said CR, it's such a new filter. I'm like, what's a CR?
Yeah.
That's really what we probably will call it moving forward,
But here's a beautiful thing, man. You can put it in your single stock window. So anytime if you don't have it as a column, you pull it up here and boom, you get an immediate composite rating on any time you're clicking on something. So there's so many ways you're going to be able to use this. There's a good composite rating right there, 97 on Squeeze Me.
Hey, Holly will have access. So it's going to be really interesting to see if she starts incorporating it as well.
Exactly. See, that's a very good point, Jamie. We'll feed this filter to Holly, and she can run it through the gauntlet, man. So, yeah, good, very good point, Jamie. And plus, you guys, I mean, when you start building your strategies, you might say, okay, I'm building a new high alert. I don't want to see anything unless it has a 80 composite rating. Then you got some quality stuff in there that's coming through, that's looking good on a technical, and got some pretty good fundamental metrics in it as well. So there's a lot of stuff you're going to be able to do with this, and even just a simple top list like this, where I don't have anything but a couple of wow. So for people that want to keep it simple, and maybe you don't want to, you just want to use a scan and just sit here and look for opportunity. Maybe you're a swing trader. Maybe you don't. Maybe you're a swing trader that don't want to chase stocks. Maybe you can put a composite rating from 85 to 95. Check that out and look for opportunity on stocks that may be attempting to break out. But so many things you're going to be able to do with, and I'm so happy that we are. I was afraid for some reason we couldn't make it a filter, but yes, you're going to have access to it, and I think it's going to be very beneficial. And let's face it, and one of the reason I came up with this idea is because I work, with some RIAs, some professionals, and they don't know how to read a chart. And Jamie can vouch for this. He's been in that arena before. There's a lot of them out there that don't know how to read a chart, do they?
Well, Andy, I was having this conversation with one of my old, partners from back in the old days when we were, young and in our 20s and had started our own broker dealer. And, we ended up, company dissolved, or no, they kept on doing it. I just left to pursue trading endeavors and, been there ever since.
Mm-hmm.
But they stayed in the money management business. And I was having this conversation. I'm like, do you guys trade any stocks at all? Like, do you allocate, tell your clients to go, hey, well, let's take 10% for risky trading, speculative stuff. And they're like, no, we just follow this formula and,
Mm-hmm.
and we just put it this here and that. It's pretty boring stuff. I'm like,
It really is.
but
And you know what, Jamie?
the reason they're not doing it is because they don't know how.
Right, right. And the funny thing about it is because I've seen those professionals. I've been around them when things stop working. And you know what I'm talking about. When you do have that 30% or 40% decline in the overall averages, and they're sitting there with, like, deer in the headlights, because they're not used to having to trade people's money. They just invested in passive funds, and the next thing you know, the dam breaks and they're deer in the headlights. But you don't have to be with our software because you're on top of things. Yeah, I'm really excited about just using this and just using it in my top list, and so I can kind of see the composite rating as I'm looking at some of these charts coming through here. But there's one right there. It's got a pretty high one. Yeah, you can see why. That's not really a pullback I would like to see, though. I'd like to see it a little bit deeper. But anyway, let's see. Any more questions? I mean, we do have. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I'm missing here. We were going to go just strictly with the technical, but I think I'm glad we added some fundamental, because I think it's important. So let's face it, anybody can kind of pull up and see a good chart, but when you start adding in some fundamental metrics that can be very important, I think some points should be allotted to that as well.
Right, Andy, it's like you're exactly right, because with it's usually when you're looking at our market filter, within the show me, to see how your filtering impacts available.
Mm-hmm.
We're usually starting off somewhere around 7,800 total stocks, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Really, so Holly spit out 70 high quality trades out of 7,500 stocks.
Yep.
Okay. So, 1% maybe, what is that? So, 750, 75 is 1%.
Yep.
So
that's right.
You're seeing the cream of everything that's out there every day,
right?
Mm-hmm. And whether it's using the windows that work well, and you can still apply statistics to your own manual windows. Are you taking all the trades? No, you're only taking the ones that you feel comfortable with that line up on the chart. You're not chasing, and then out of how many trades you make, how many are you winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same. It's the same thing over and over again, but it's really all about just getting rid of all the garbage, and most information, including all the information in the market. I'd say 90% of that information is simply meaningless.
Yeah.
To me anyway, and of course perception is different for every other person or every person, but when you really absorb yourself with statistics and chart patterns versus fundamentals, and you start applying hardcore statistics to it, well, then you have something.
Sure, that's a very good points, and why he's bringing that up, it made me thought of Holly. Now that's another thing. If you want to, like this, the big winners today, AKCA, there you go. You can have a composite rating once again in your single stock window. So when these are coming through, now you may miss some good trades because Holly's a different animal. She doesn't necessarily look at charts like we does. I mean, a lot of the configurations are based upon chart, but there's also it's more designed around, like Jamie always points to, statistical analysis, versus chart reading and things like that when it comes to Holly, especially when she starts, doing all of her optimizing. But nonetheless. I got some questions coming in here. Let me ask. Yeah, David. Once again, we just started been working on this. I haven't really had a time. I can see where it can help both on the day trading time frame and the swing trading for sure. Uh, I'd have to say it probably best used for swing trading, but that doesn't mean no. I mean, a lot of your explosive moves. I've been noticing my extreme volume, high-low pro today, just like I showed you, this ETA 88, CI 83. I mean, there's some good scores coming through here. You're going to find a lot of them in these explosive charts that are going to have some really high. It's not all great there. Some really good composite rating, 84. There's another good one, but. Greg, yes, you need to talk. Go talk. Jamie's answering you there. But if you want to know more information, go see Bill. In our online support, our website. When it comes to that text messaging, it's a little quirky, but I don't know. I don't know if Price should.
Saying that it's older legacy technology, so if that information's not already in the stream, then there's no way we're going to be able to get it to you. But the web version works great on a large phone, or especially on a tablet. That might be a better alternative than text messages. Maybe, maybe not. Just a suggestion.
Yeah. Yeah, David mentions he'd like to see historical composite rating. That's gonna be tough, David. Obviously, because of our real-time component. Just
but
because
it will tell the history, just like everything else, right?
Well, I think but I don't think if you right-click in here and go back in history and it pulls up a stock, you're going to be able to see what that composite rating was back then. I think it would still be. Is that what you're talking about, Jamie? Like you could actually go back into history in one of your.
Well, I just think it's going to function just like any other filter. It's going to have all the same functionalities. You can, if it shows up, it does. If it doesn't, but you should be able to go back and review the history of it just like any other filter is what I'm saying. Maybe I'm missing.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. But what it's not going to show you is not going to show you the composite rating of it. Like if you're in your single stock window and you're looking at the, if you click into a symbol in your history, it's going to show you the current composite rating. It's not going to go back and tell you what the composite rating was back 3 weeks ago. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't think. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see, David. All right. Let's see. Okay, Cass. I'm not sure what alert you're talking about. This one is not available now. If you're talking about this filter we're talking about.
As far as Greg's question, why not allow pre-market trading for auto trading? If you're referring to Brokerage Plus, I kind of thought it was available because you can set whatever start time you want. Might be a better Bill question. Andy, don't you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think we had auto trading for pre-market or post-market, but
well, execution is one thing, right? But you can't back test. You can't back test pre-market. So if you can't back test pre-market, then, well,
yep.
I don't know. But you might be able to set a manual strategy to execute before the open if it executes, pre-market trades. I don't see why it wouldn't work. But if you want to hit hit Bill up on the live chat, and he can give you a definite answer.
Yeah, I see what you mean. In theory, it seems like it would work, but it may, it may be a function on IB's end as well. I don't know. But yeah, that's a question. Like I said, probably want to hit Bill up or Michael Noss. He's another one good one you can hit up. All right, guys, a lot of good questions today. I hope you guys are excited about this new composite rating. I think it's going to be fun to play with. So hopefully we'll get that out soon to you. I'm going to bring Scott in now. We're running here in the last few minutes, and you guys hang on. Scott's got some cool stuff to talk about, and also he has a really good discount for you.
Yeah, thank you. A couple items on the way out. We have an ebook that both Andy and Jamie participated in writing chapters of. Go ahead and get it. It's free. Just go to trade-ideas.com/ebook, and it contains 5 strategies that are essential for you to be successful when the market is rocky and buying the dip no longer works. So it's free. Go get it. We have a podcast coming out tomorrow. Just make sure that you're subscribed so you get the new edition. Search for Trade Ideas Podcast in whatever app you use to listen to them in, and just add us as a subscription. And there you go. You'll be ready for the fresh pod in your ears tomorrow morning. Then you can scroll through the archive list and get any of the ones that are interesting that you haven't listened to yet. Check out the guest ones. We have a sale going on, 25% off, which is a big one for us. Summer Drive is the code to use. It's good through the end of Sunday, August 5th. So make sure you use it before then. And subscribers that are on standard, not premium, you can also use this code for your first installment of your premium plan. Just use it when you're doing an upgrade and save that 25% off. Any questions, email us info@trade-ideas.com. You can also follow Jamie at QuantBot on Twitter. Steve Gomez is at Today Trader. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/TradeIdeasPro, and share what we post with your friends. Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you, Andy. Have a good one.
Thank you,
All right,
Scott.
guys.
Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it.
All right, Andy. We'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.